You've got mail. Hey, what is this? Hold up, my Spanish books came in. All right, we're about to take Bilingue blogs out the game. I'm about to learn more Spanish than this dude. Let me see, where am I about to start in this thing? Let me see. Hold up, what the heck is, why are there so many, where do I start with this? Like, I don't understand how he got all this in his head. Where do you start with this? Man, forget that. I guess I ain't about to get no mamacitas because I ain't about to learn this. I don't even know where to begin. ¿Qué lo que mi gente? Yo soy Ricky de Bilingue Blogs. Thank you for tuning in to another video. On this channel, you'll find the best inspiration for learning Spanish and also some handy Spanish learning tips. So if you like that idea, go ahead and subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. The most popular question that I get after how long it took me to learn my second language is, where do you start when you're learning a new language? I have 3 different options for you that I want to share with you, so stay tuned for the whole video. None of these options is better than the other, but I do want to give you these points in case your learning style is different or in case you want to approach it a different way. You know, learning a language is just like math. There's more than one way to get to the solution, okay? So the first method that I have for you guys will be to stock up on the vocabulary. You can study vocabulary in categories and just, commit those words to memory and actually learn those words, internalize those words, and make them second nature. You can build up a very big vocabulary in Spanish, and then after that, you can tack on the grammar. So where do you start with the vocabulary? That's completely up to you. My best advice when you are learning vocabulary is that you keep it relevant to you. So I talked about this in one of my other videos where I said you want to start with things that you come into contact with most, the people that you come into contact with the most, the adjectives that you use the most. You're gonna wanna start there and then branch out to the things that you use less and less and less, and the things that you don't use at all, you don't really need to know them. If you want to know them, then you can do that, that's fine. But the best place to start is where it's most relevant to you, because those are the things that are important in your world. So stock up on the vocabulary, and then after that, you can start adding in the grammar, but you'll have a really strong base of vocabulary to work with. You'll be surprised at how it all comes together when you start to add the grammar in there. Because you have such an extensive vocabulary already, okay? Method number 2 will be my favorite way, the way that I learned. I actually started with my grammar workbooks, and I will pick a category and master that category. So if you're gonna go that route, I think the best place to start is present tense conjugation. And at the same time, simultaneously, you want to add some vocabulary, some regular conjugation verbs in there, so that you can make it make sense and make it click in your head. And after that, you start adding in the nouns, start adding in, your subject pronouns, all the other different parts of speech. But you're gonna start there with that little part of grammar, with the present tense, and then some popular regular verbs. If you're looking for a heavy hitter lesson, then you're gonna wanna start with ser and estar. Ser and estar. But you also wanna, focus on the regular conjugation too, because ser and estar are irregulars. If you're gonna start with ser and estar, then I would recommend that you learn adjectives, because that's what ser and estar deals with. For example, estoy feliz, estoy triste, okay? Soy alto, soy fuerte, Either way, when you start with your grammar, you're gonna need some vocabulary to accompany it, so that way you can put it into practice and really understand and get a good grasp on it. And honestly, that's the way that I loved to learn. Also, one thing that I did personally was I stuck my head in the Spanish to English dictionary. You don't have to do it that way. That may be too overwhelming for you. Just stick to your category, and you'll get it down. The main thing is to start. So we're talking about a starting point here. We can figure out the rest of it as we go, but you just want to get started, and that's what this video is for. Now, I know that some of you guys hate grammar. You hate learning about grammar. It makes you sick to your stomach. You don't want to think anything about grammar because that's not the kind of learner you are. And I do have a method for you, and that method would be to find a friend or friends who are willing and able to teach you correct Spanish. This was a big part of my learning as well, as before I even got the grammar books, before I even got the vocabulary books, I had friends from Mexico. I was in 2nd grade, and I remember asking my friends, how do you say this? How do you say that? That's why I said you gotta find somebody who's willing to teach you, because there are a lot of people who are able, but many people who are able, they don't see themselves as teachers. They may see it as a tedious job to always teach you something. So find someone who's willing and able to help you. And that way you don't really have to focus on grammar. You just ask them how to say this, and you kind of internalize it, and you learn that way. One of my friends learned how to speak Spanish in a bar. No books, no nothing. He learned it in a bar. So if you want to learn in a bar or out in the club, or finding friends wherever you want to find them, that's fine too. But as you're doing that, I would highly recommend that you get a phrase book. And this phrase book, you can use it, at your own leisure, whenever you feel like you need it. So the phrase book that I have is, there's a phrase book like this one, the Spanish phrases for dummies. I've never really used it. I got it because I thought I could talk about it in a video, but I never have until now. But this is a Spanish phrase book that you can get. There are other books as well. But if you're gonna go that route, I highly recommend that you get a Spanish phrase book. This kind of will help things click a little more in your head, give you some phrases to memorize without feeling like it's grammar and you're spending a lot of hours studying and things like that. So it's really up to you how you wanna do that. I think that way helps you to be more free in the way that you learn, With that method, you may not understand exactly why everything works the way that it does, but you'll know that it does work the way that it does. Kind of how English is for me. I may not understand every single thing of the inner workings of English because, it's my native language, but I know what's right and I know what's wrong. And that's the same thing that happens there. So if you're like me and you do like to know every single thing and you do like to know the inner workings of your second language or third language, whatever language you're learning, then you're gonna wanna follow one of the first two methods. Like me personally, I would go crazy if I didn't know why this happens this way or why we use this here or that there. But if you're not like that, feel free to use that method. Finding a friend and getting a Spanish phrase book and, just pretty much starting where you are, talking about whatever is relevant to you there. All right, those are my 3 methods for the best starting point when it comes to Spanish. But I want you to leave comments down below with your favorite method for starting a language. What has worked for you? Where did you start when you were learning a language? Because there are people here who are lost. They don't know where to start. So go ahead and leave those comments down below. Subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, and like as well. And also share this video with somebody who's always talking about, oh, I want to learn this language. I want to learn it so bad, but they haven't really made a move yet. It's probably because they don't know where to start. So share this video with them. That will help out tremendously. Thank you for watching. And hasta aquí el video de hoy. Nos fuimos.